Okay, so if you haven't seen a Spike 3 game yet, and the only one really that's out in the wild right now is Star Wars Fall of the Empire, they have these speaker light kits that are installed in them, and this is the default panel. There's not really that many LEDs on this panel, and so Dan over at Pinwoofer created upgraded panels for Spike 3 systems. He has these for Spike 2 and everything like that. He's telling me that it's going to be brighter than the normal Spike 3 ones, and I was like, nah, it can't be that crazy. But dude, these things are freaking amazing. So much better than the stock lighting that Stern provides. I mean, there's so many more LEDs, so it really lights the panel well. It's double the amount of LEDs, and the effect, number one, is way brighter and just way more interesting to look at. So I gotta hand it to Dan. He really, I mean, he always does a good job with everything. If you don't know Dan over at Pinwoofer, he's done Spike 2 amplifier upgrades and amplifier upgrades for different various systems like JJPs as well. But I am so impressed by this. And so anyways, I'll open up the back box so you can see really quick. It doesn't, what did I do with the keys? Oh my God. I got the keys in my pocket like an idiot. So you're not really gonna see the panel because they're already installed, but basically I'll just walk you through really quick. All right, so when you open it up, you can see the speaker panels right here. So what you do is you remove these two screws and then the speaker panel comes off. And then you basically are taking this out and putting his panel in. It does require a little bit of modification because you do need to use his, and nothing's tidy yet. So you do need to use his interface board, but it's a fairly simple install. It's very similar to his other kits if you've ever installed it. You do need to tie into the bill acceptor power. That there's normally a heat shield here. You remove that, and then I didn't put the heat shield back on yet. And then there's a separate power supply for that. But everything is powered from your Stern Spike 3 power supply. This is actually the wire that goes into the Stern CPU. You remove that from the CPU that's up here behind the back glass, put it into his interface board. He then gives you an adapter board that plugs into where this came from, and you end up with a data cable that goes into here, and then you just simply install the speakers. But I am blown away by how much freaking better this looks than what Stern provided stock. Now I know these are expensive pinball machines and you wouldn't expect to do something like this or have to do something like this, but if you're all about making your system as good as it possibly can, these are pretty freaking amazing. All right, so what I just showed you is really a tech preview of the Stern Spike 3 speaker light kits by Pinwoofer. So Dan over at Pinwoofer created these to be somewhat of a turnkey solution. They were pretty easy to install, so much so that he didn't even have the instructions ready at the time that I did this. So he sent it out to me. He said, hey, give it a go. Let me know how it goes. It was pretty straightforward. So I did it without instructions. But obviously when you buy them, or if you buy them, there will be instructions. But they're unreleased right now, but they will be released this week. If you're watching it on the day I post it, sometime midweek, it should be available on the website. So keep checking out Dan's website, Pinwoofer, and just Google Pinwoofer and you can find it. But yeah, they look pretty awesome, man. It's unfortunate that Stern cheaps out on this kind of stuff because you shouldn't really have to do this, but Dan's got your back. This stuff is great. If you're looking for something that matches the quality of the cabinet lights and the brightness of the cabinet lights, this is the way to go.